Welcome back to Final Fantasy Tactics. This is the All Archers run we have been working on for so long, nearing its conclusion here, heading to Murond Holy Place. We have our first battle at this holy place at the outskirts, or at the wall, I suppose. It's called St. Murond Temple. We are outside on this battle. We're using mostly crossbows again for this one because, again, we start with a height disadvantage. Also, our damage just has, it's been outstripped by the Gastrophytus bow over Ultimus bow because our AT has increased faster than our speed. So it's the calculation is a little bit better when you use a crossbow that just goes by your AT, not the average of your AT and your speed. Although there still could be an argument made for speed save. If you have a few attacks popping up in there, you could improve yourself a little bit. This priest has white and black magic. There's a summoner and a geomancer over here. Two mediators with guns in the back. I'm just taking a look at all of their abilities. And then there's one more geomancer down there. So you don't fight a lot of geomancers in this. You'll fight some rando knights and things that have the elemental skill. So we have a split party here, but we're fighting mostly, squishy or magely characters, and we have enough gas now in this party to really overcome a lot with them. We have a lot of damage we can deal. So the squishy type enemies like this, earlier in the game where a summoner would have posed a really, really nasty threat, now is not such a big deal. We can take the summoner out in 2 or 3 hits pretty quickly. Our speed also has grown, and our thief hat abilities allows us to really outstrip them in terms of speed. Mustadio there gets a great critical hit, that one-hit KO on that mediator. Unfortunately, Orlando cannot quite get up there. We're using bracers here in this battle to increase our speed. The Germanus boots could be argued to be better here because that extra jump may help get onto some of those walls a tile or two early. But I didn't find it necessary to play around with that too much. Here we do have the gusty wind because remember, it's not based on where your character targets are standing. It's based on the where the geomancer is standing. So I will take all of those gusty winds to give me speed saves. I will take all of those. It's not boosting my damage any, but it will help get my turns around faster. There is a guarded sword attack. Yes, a sword attack. Maybe a rune blade. I wasn't watching carefully enough, I suppose, when we checked the equipment there. And the summoner is going to go for a support ability. I believe it's haste that he's casting on that priest right there. And that priest, casting fire 2, just not really doing it. Yeah, it is haste from the summoner. So there certainly could be a lot more threatening abilities coming out of these guys, but they're just not pulling out the big stuff for us. So that Geomancer is kind of right in our face now, so we can plink that Geomancer away all we want. And I'm just looking to see if it's any advantage of all for Ramza to charge. Thankfully, don't have a counter ability used there. When you do have a archer standing right next to those characters, sometimes you'll take those counter punches that you kind of forget about when you're playing ranged characters like this. You're no longer really thinking about taking those kinds of hits. And we're double checking this guy's name, Fernando, and we're looking at when we can use an ability that will not let him get a turn. And that one is worth it because we did really nice damage there, and a few extra multipliers helps a lot. So there's another hit on the mediator. These two guys are going to start working their way up. The mithril gun is just not going to be able to do the job over on that side. It's just not going to happen today. This one could have been much worse. That priest getting the turn there to come charge a slow spell. But, as the battle goes on, your speed advantage really starts to take shape, and you really start to see you getting lots of extra turns. In the first round or two where everybody starts pretty equal, you'll get your first turn, and then you start resetting CT and everything. But When you have high-speed characters like this, after a few rounds, you really notice that you're getting a lot more actions than they are. And that Fire 2, again, just pretty, I don't know, lackluster, forgettable damage, and everybody gets a speed save out of it. All three get a speed save. And that Priest actually stepped into the line of fire for that arrow. So the Geomancer lives to fight another day and hit us with Hell Ivy. Now, this one is a pretty threatening elemental skill. It doesn't have something silly like silence on the end of it. It does have stop, and he gets stop to land on 1 out of 3 of my characters. Now, thankfully, that Priest is not going to get another turn. We have enough gas to get up here, take him out. So even with haste, he's not going to get another action to try to charge another pesky spell on us. Because you can see Ramza's getting down right around 100 hit points. So we're not really in the danger zone yet, although a well-placed summon spell like a big Titan or something, or Leviathan, could finish the job. But that summoner seems a little bit more concerned with Orlando and Mustadio coming up to him. So I'm just looking at where I can move my characters. I'm trying not to bunch them up and leave them vulnerable to another big elemental spell like Hell Ivy. I'm trying to get a little bit of variety there, and you can see much worse damage on him. We have a really bad compatibility there. So it's going to be a long charge. Here comes Orlando. And you can see it is Leviathan that is charging. So Mustadio is going to get an action, and Orlando's going to charge this one up, but it's going to be enough to take him out before Leviathan fires. That damage does show the bonus you get from hitting a charging character, and it does indeed fire off before Leviathan, so that will be an accurate depiction of what the damage is. The damage is going to look like that. And Ramza looking to get just a little bit more, but he cannot quite. Fernando's going to survive this attack. He cannot get the charge +1 off before Fernando's going to get a turn, but you can see excellent damage there. And Ramza's looking at where his next move might be. Where can I go next? Because he wants to keep the pressure on. He wants to leave a clear line of fire for his partner, and he wants to start working on getting around there for his teammates. And indeed, this other character, Surge there, still can hit that Geomancer. I was a little bit worried that Ramza would get in his line of fire. But as it is, that is the battle. The outside of St. Murond Temple has been defeated, and on we go to the interior.